Hello, this is Mistakes We Were Made, and this is a channel that I created to document my family's progress with debt reduction and eventual elimination. And we are going to do a cash stuffing today. So before we get started with that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. And first and foremost, if this is the first video of ours that you are seeing, welcome. Thank you for clicking on it and taking a peek. If you want to kind of see where we started and what trials and tribulations we have coming up in the future, I definitely recommend checking out our debt confession video. If you've been with us and have been watching the channel for a little while, welcome back. Absolutely appreciate your support. So let's see what we are working with today. We've got 100, 200, 300. Move that a little bit closer. 50, 400, 50. 70, 90, 510, 530. 540, 550, 560, 570, 580, 590, 600, 610, 615, 620, 625, 630, 635, 636, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So $645 is what we're working with today. I'm gonna just write that down. Got a little piece of paper here on the side. So for those who are new, these are the cash envelopes that we stuff. We do not stuff everything. Every time we do a cash stuffing, we typically break up the month into two periods. One is the first pay period, one is the second. So some of these we will fill during the first pay period only, some during the second pay period only, and then there's others that we do fill during both. So let's get started here. AAA is one that gets paid during this pay period, and it gets $15. Oops. So if I recall correctly, the dues for this become due in August. So we still have a little ways of way to get there, but we've got $50, $60, $70, $80, $85, $90. So let's take out our little tracker doohickey. And today is actually St. Patrick's Day. We don't tend to do anything very interesting as a general rule. Every now and then we might go out, but it's not a tradition or anything. Birthdays also get money during this particular pay period, and it gets $12. It's got 10 and 2 ones. So we have 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every time I see our sparkly dollar, it makes me laugh. Now I have to count the ones again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 48. Oh, goodness. Okie dokie. All right. Next is car maintenance, but we do not fund that during this round. Christmas, we do. and it also gets $12. So, goodness gracious. There we go. So we've got 50, 60, 70, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, $96. Okay. Guess it's easier to dry that if I actually wave it instead of the bills in front of it. Okay, what's next? Clothing does get $5. So we are now at 10, 15, 20. Okay. Dine Out does not get anything, neither does Entertainment, neither does Garden and Yard. Gas does, but we can see we have some money in here already. So we will put that there. Gas gets $100. We are going to do, let's see, 50, 20, 30, 40, 5, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Will that? Nope, that's going to be a problem. I can't take all those ones. What do we have so far? We've got 50, 70, 80, 90, 5, and I guess we'll take another 5. Okay. So 50, 70, 80, 95, 100. Okay. Oh, and this one doesn't have a tracker just because it gets refreshed every pay period. Gifts gets $5. And I kind of feel like I've messed up this process, so we may have to do some consolidating or something, potentially, if we end up needing change and whatnot. But that's okay. Giving, we do not do this pay period. I have a lot of random stuff back here, and I have a feeling that my stuff is not necessarily in order. Groceries, this gets upped every pay period, so anything extra we take out. This gets $200. $100 for each week. Health gets $10. And it is one that we are funding each. Oh, why did I put 10 on each of these? This, oh boy. This should be a accumulation, not just how much I've added in. So we're at $30 for that. Oh, see, this is definitely... I'm going to need to do some cleanup in here for sure. Household, it gets 50. I'm going to set this 50 aside actually. Because the $50 for this is essentially accounted for, or has a specific allocation for this month. We changed how often we fund it. Usually it's just once a month. We changed it to twice so that we could meet a specific goal. License gets $34. And so that's going to be a 20, 10, and 1, 2, 3, $4. And we have until June to get to where I need to be, because as I recall, I think it cost $80 for me to renew my license. Now, normally it wouldn't be $80, but they've got something in Oregon called a Real ID, so that you can, I don't know if this is like nationwide or not. I'm assuming it might be. But it's so that if you want to fly or get into federal buildings and stuff, you know, it essentially proves that you're a citizen, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that on the off chance that I need to fly somewhere, I currently have a passport that gets me into Canada and Mexico, but it expires, I want to say, actually, did it expire in May of last year? It may have expired in May of last year. It's either May of this year or May of last year. I don't think I'm going to need to fly anywhere, but you never know. So you have to get a certain thing. And my current ID, which is one I've had forever, before they made this rule, does not have whatever it requires to have whatever proof the new law. I don't know. It seems ridiculous to me. But bottom line, it does cost extra to get that star or whatever they put on the card, so it's magically better and allows you to fly. So that's why it costs so much. I did look in it, and I guess the last time I got my ID or my driver's license, I actually got it for 16 years, I think it was. Is it? Oh man. I looked at it and I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was for this long. So I don't know if the $80 is also enough for that. So I might try and save just a little bit more just in case, because obviously I want it to last as long as possible before I have to go to the DMV again. So anyway, we've got 20, 40, 51, 52, 53, 54. Okay, come on. So $54, which means this is something that we fund every pay period. So if I need to get to 80, next pay period should get us there. And then, of course, I still have, like I said, until midsummer before I need to do anything. So we can certainly boost this up a little bit beyond that. The other thing, of course, that I need to keep in mind is we're not just doing this for my driver's license, but also my business license fees, which next year will be $100. So, you know, as we're going through the months, we'll figure that out. What I will be doing is once I have paid for my driver's license, we will reassess how much we need to be funding this each pay period, simply because we will then only have the business license for multiple years to contend with. So absolutely will not need to be funding this at the rate that we currently are. So, yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling that my things are way out of whack. Okay, miscellaneous. We kept some money over last time when we had our when we did our savings challenge. We didn't use all the money that was left over from some of our revolving funds. So we'll put that in here. I love to see this. Mother loan. We have paid this off. So I don't know how easy it will be to take this off of here. But we do not need, whoopsie, this this envelope anymore. Oh, it's going to be a little bit sticky, so that's neat. Not to worry, I'm sure it'll get covered in cat and dog hair soon enough, and then it won't be sticky anymore. What we'll probably do is recycle this and find another thing to track. Actually, we'll leave that in there for whatever new thing we do, but I'm going to move it to our pile of empties. Okay, so pets gets $160. So 150 and 60. Oh, I didn't tell you, we we tried to go to either PetSmart or Petco or whatever to get the license situation handled for the dog that was coming due, and he needed like his rabies shot and stuff. All was well and good. They asked for a history from him, and so we got that from our standard vet. Well, apparently, and I didn't realize he had this. I don't know if we just didn't know, or maybe it happened and they told us and it wasn't a big deal, so it slipped our mind. But at one time that he had a vaccine, he had a little bit of a reaction to it, so that place would not do it because they said, well, we can't provide him aftercare. So if something were to happen, if he were to have a reaction, I was like, okay. So we ended up going to the vet anyway, to our actual vet, and as I recall, it cost something like $215. So I don't know if it would have been cheaper at this other place or not, but it was more than we were really excited to spend. So we are definitely at a lower dollar amount now. So we've got 100, 200, 50, 70, 90, $300. We also get a Chewy order every 6 or so weeks. So that comes out of this as well. Let me count that again. 100, 250, 270, 290, 300. Yeah, okay. But in the end, even though things didn't work out the way we wanted them to, we still had the money to cover and reimburse ourselves when we used our debit card to pay for it. So, I guess in the long run, that's what these things are for. So it's all good. Okay, Prime gets $10. All right. I had a feeling that we may have created some problems here with how I went about doing some stuff. So I am going to see if I can find something that has two $10 bills. There's a 10, and there is not a 10. There's a 10 though. Oops, this is messy. This is messy. Okay, so we're gonna hold off, and we're gonna take one of these, and we're gonna put two 10s there, and get back to the birthday. was. That's where we snagged that from. So here's your $20 back, just in a different form. Okay, because Prime gets $12, right? Yes. And nope, can't take it from there. So 10 and 2 ones. Okay, we've got 20, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $60. Okay, so that's all set. And then we've got taxes, which gets $30, which gives us our last little bit here. Now we've got 20, 40, 60, 75, 76, 77. Oops. Now this one we just recently changed how much we are contributing to it. Before we were doing $42, I believe, each time. We have dropped that down to 30. There's a method to the madness, but I cannot recreate that madness at the moment. So, all right, so we are looking at recliner savings first because we have finished our cash stuffing, our standard cash stuffing. And actually, let's look and see how much we actually have for leftover that we did not end up spending. These are all $1 bills. Wow, okay. All right, so we've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, goodness, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that actually 110, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 110. But that's why this seems way, way off. 50 of this was actually for the household payment, which goes into the recliner savings at the moment. There we go. That was way up. I mean, this amount is actually way more than I was kind of expecting in and of itself. But let's see what we have for recliner savings. We've got 150, 250, 350, 70, 90, 410, 430, $450. So we are just $50 shy of the max amount that we are planning to save for the recliner. So taking the 50 from our 110 means we should have $60, and it does. So you know what? I am going to, instead of having this go to our yard and garden savings challenge opportunity, I am going to take 50 from here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and we are going to call the recliner savings good. that means we can go back to funding the household at just $25 during the first pay period of the month, instead of making it a $50 payment twice a month, which is what we did this month. That's hopefully going to be helpful because though we have now saved up for this, we might actually have to tap into it because just recently our dishwasher has gone on the fritz. And my partner looked up some videos, and the initial thought was, well, maybe the latch thing isn't registering properly, because essentially with the code that would come up, it was saying that the door wasn't closed completely, even though it was. So he went and he got a replacement latch. He did say that it felt a little bit more secure than the original one that was in there, but when we tried to run it again, it still gave us an error. And unfortunately, the YouTube, videos that we were watching were saying, well, if that fix doesn't work, then there's a possibility that the control panel or motherboard or something more electronic is not registering things properly. So you'll have to replace that. And thank goodness that's kind of what my partner does. He does like microelectronic stuff in a clean room and wears the little bunny suits and stuff like that, because that's a little outside of my comfort zone. But when he was looking up the panel or whatever it is that he would need to replace, it was like $150. So he's going to be looking into that again a little bit further, just to make sure before we outlay that kind of money that is truly what we need to do. But it's possible we might need to pull from here, just depending on how long we are willing to not have a dishwasher. Obviously, we can just wash the dishes in the sink, and that's what we've been doing, and using the dishwasher as a little bit of a draining board. We want to be careful because obviously if we're not running it, you don't want, water, even if it's just slow drips, to be standing in there for long periods of time. So this is, I'm glad we've met this goal, but we might have to crack into it a little bit to deal with the dishwasher. So you might be seeing this again. Next is our savings challenge. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10. So let's see what we have available on our little sheet. Looks like we can fill in the metal bits on our equipment. Okay. And actually, I think we decided that each one was going to be worth $10. And I'll be honest, I don't remember if we treated this as like it was 20 or not. I'm assuming we did. So since we have 10, we're just going to do the spade. And so, these are all ones. So we've got 10, 25, 35, 40, 1, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, $58. And because this is a living challenge, that what we are saving up for, we are actively incurring costs. It's for the garden. We have already started doing garden stuff. We are actually we're gonna take all of this money and deposit it into the bank. So we will be starting fresh as far as putting new money in there, because we have incurred costs that we need to recoup. So that will be super fun. What I'll probably do is take this money and hunt through our envelopes to see what we can consolidate down into, just so I'm not trying to shove a million bills into the ATM. But that's exciting. For those of you who are interested in gardening, we have filled or amended and bolstered the soil level on 3 of our 4 main raised beds. We have bought enough soil to fill about, I would say, a half to a little bit more than that in our newer round bed that's going to be holding some spring garlic. We have planted our shelling peas and our snap peas. We just planted a bunch of red onion, some yellow onion, and some purple dragon carrots. We also planted in separate containers those same red onions and yellow onions, just because we still had a bunch of sets. And we have planted a red potato, well, 2 red potatoes, 2 yellow Yukon Gold potatoes, and 2 blue or purple potatoes. So we'll see how that all turns out. I'm not anticipating that we're going to do any more specific planting for March, except we have something called a green stock, which is a tower system. Ours has 30 total pockets that you can plant in. The one that we are going to be focusing on next is almost filled with strawberries. Last year we did a strawberry and bean mix. This year we're not going to do any beans in there. So those empty pockets we will need to put new strawberry plants in. But before then, we absolutely need to refresh the soil. So at some point I need to get all of that torn down and carefully dump out the used soil while not harming the strawberries that are in there, because from everything I've read and watched, strawberries don't like their roots to touch oxygen and be manipulated too much. So I'll have to be a little bit careful with that I don't harm anything. I also need to do a little bit of cleanup with the strawberries, because there are a fair amount of dead, things and leaves and whatever. So we need to clean that up a little. But I need to get that tower kind of fixed up so that hopefully we will enjoy an even better strawberry harvest than we had last year, which was pretty darn good. It was probably about every other day, maybe every 3 days at the most, we would be out there and getting, big, delicious strawberries off of that. So I'm very much looking forward to enjoying that again this year. So that's an update on the garden and where and how this money is being used. We've finished our cash stuffing. We managed to fill the requirement of $500 for the recliner. We'll figure out what we're going to do about the dishwasher. Bottom line is we will not be going into debt to deal with it. One way or another, we'll figure out how we're going to move money around. We might decide that at the end of this pay period, any leftover money, we could take $150 from that and have it go towards repairing the dishwasher. What we are hoping is not going to be needed is a completely new dishwasher. And quite frankly, we just got this one about 7 years ago, and to me that seems like a much too short time of a time period for us to need a new one. Maybe I'm crazy in thinking that, because I know that manufacturers do a whole planned obsolescence thing so that you're kind of forced to get new stuff every so often. The whole idea of building something to last has kind of gone by the wayside in a lot of cases, but I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here, because that's a cost that I'd really rather we didn't have to bear. If it comes down to it, we will, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so that is that for this particular video. Thank you for watching. As always, any ideas, suggestions, how-to-dos, anything that you want to ask or say, just note that down in the comments. I do try to read and reply in some manner to every single one. I very much appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.